Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be predicting round 1 of the 2023 Madrid Masters, Madrid Open, however you want to call it. This is going to be a big tournament. 2 weeks. Round of 128, but same thing with Indian Wells and Miami. I will be only predicting 32 matches in round 1 because 32 players have a bye. So, no Djokovic, no Nadal. This is going to be massive. It's going to be a big tournament, all to play for. Let's do this. Hope you all enjoy. Okay, so the first match is going to be Emil Ruusuvuori versus Ugo Umber. This will be a pretty good match. They are quite similarly talented players. But I'm going to go with Ruusuvuori here. He's been playing decently recently. I don't really know how well he's going on the clay too much, but I think he's going well. And I think he's going to win this first round match. He'll move on to round 2. Up next, we have Emilio Nava, the wildcard entry, versus Gregor Barre. I'm sorry, I probably pronounced his names really wrong, but anyway, I'm going to go, this is going to be a good match. I don't really know these players too well, but I'm going to go with Gregor here. I think he's got a much better ranking. He's been doing a lot better, while Emilio's been playing challenger tournaments. Gregor has been playing some ATP 250s, and he's been doing decent in them. He's been doing alright. So I'm just going to go with Gregor here to move on to round 2. Roberto Carballes Baena is up next versus David Goffin. Now, Roberto, he's been playing very well recently. He, the other week, won a title in Marrakesh, and he's been doing very well. That was his first win since 2018 in a tournament title. So he's been playing really well. I think he's got what it takes to beat Goffin and move on to round 2. Now we move on to Alexi Popyrin versus Quinton Hallis. So I'm going to go with Popyrin here. He's been playing pretty well. I'd say he's a good player, and I do like seeing him play. He's a strong player on the tour, and I'm not being biased because he's Australian, but he's been doing well. So I think he will move on to round 2. Yibing up next versus Alex Molchan. Now, this is going to be an interesting match. I haven't been following these players really recently. I know Yibing's done quite well. I don't know how he's going on the clay at the moment, but I think Yibing's going to win this match, to be honest. He's been doing well, and I think he's got what it takes to move on to round 2. We're in Madrid. Maxime Cressy now versus Stan Wawrinka. And I'm going with Wawrinka here. He's been playing very well recently. He's been doing quite good. And I think he's going to go pretty far in this tournament. I think he's going to do well. And I think he's got this. He's going on to round 2. Thanasi Kokkinakis now versus Jaume Munar. Now, this is going to be interesting. I think this is Kokkinakis' first clay tournament. I'm not sure if he played in Monaco. I can't remember. But it's going to be tough, but I think I'm going to go with Kokkinakis here. I want to go with a guess with him, because it's win or lose, to be honest. Munar's pretty good, but I think Kokkinakis can do this to move on to round 2 here in Madrid. Fabio Fognini versus Oscar Otte up next. This is going to be a good match. Both decent players, but I'm going to go with Fognini here. He's a good clay court player. He does well, but I think he's not going to do amazing this tournament, but he'll go on to round 2 at least. Okay, so this is a weird one. Martin Landaluce, that's his name. Spanish player, wildcard entry. He's 894 ranked in the world, and he's going up against Richard Gasquet. Best of luck to you, mate, but Richard is going to beat you. I am sure of it. Richard Gasquet is going to win, and is moving on to round 2. Now we are on to Jeremy Chardy versus Hugo Gaston, the wildcard entry. So, my boy Hugo Gaston, OG tennis prediction viewers will remember when I made a bold prediction with him at the Paris Masters 2021. And he won the match, and he made it to like the quarterfinals or something in the tournament. So I'm going with Gaston on this. I know that was like 2 years ago, but like at least like a year and a half. But still, he's been playing well, and I'm going to go with him. Albert Ramos Vinolas versus Ilya Ivashka next. I'm going to go with Vinolas. He's a really good clay court player. Well, he's consistent, let's say. He hasn't won a tournament in a little while on the clay, or in general, but I think he's going to move on to round 2. He does decently, and he does all-round tournaments, so I'm going to go with him on this one. Next up, we have Alexander Bublik versus Daniel Elahai Galan. I'm going to go with Bublik on this one. I think he's got this one. I think he's going to win the match. Move on to round 2. He's a pretty good player. He's done well recently, so I'm going to go with Bublik. Okay, this is going to be a good match up next. Jason Kubler versus Dusan Lajovic. Now, Kubler is a very good tennis player. He's been getting a lot better, especially this year. But Lajovic, wow, he was playing a 250 tournament last week. Beat the world number 1, Novak Djokovic, and the Monte Carlo Masters champion, Andrei Rublev. And he won the title. Amazing. So I think he's going to do well this week. He's going to do quite well. I think Lajovic is moving on to round 2. Moving on to Abdullah Shelbayh versus Pedro Cachin. Now, Shelbayh is ranked 242 in the world, while Cachin is ranked 67. So I don't know how that's going to go, but I think Cachin's going to win this. Ranking doesn't mean a lot, but Shelbayh is currently marked as like a next-gen contender, like a next-gen player, so I'm just going to go with Cachin for this one and move on to round 2. Tomas Etcheverry versus Adrian Mannarino next. Now this is going to be a good match. I haven't really been following these players recently. I know Etcheverry has done pretty well though. He hasn't won a title yet, but he's made it to 2 finals, Santiago and Houston, and he's done well in those finals. He didn't win, but I think he's moving on to round 2 and defeating Adrian Mannarino. Now we're on to Mackenzie McDonald versus Benape Zapata Miralles. And I'm going to go with McDonald. Yes, I think he's going to win this match. He's a good player. He's very good and consistent. So he's moving on to round 2, I think. Now we're on to Nuno Borges versus Marcos Giron. Who is going to win this one? This is going to be interesting. Both are good players. They're in the top 100. But I'm going to go with Garon here. I think he's just going to win this one. I don't know. I really don't know. But I think he's got this. He plays well. And I don't really know the players too well, but I think he's got this. Now, we got the protected ranking player of Kyle Edmund versus Dominic Thiem wildcard. I think Dominic Thiem's got this. He is a good player. It's great to see him playing decently again after his big injury. But on clay, he does really well, so I think he's got this one. He's going on to round 2 here in Madrid. I think he's got this, defeating Kyle Edmund. Now we got Christopher O'Connell versus Filip Krajinovic. Or is it Krajinovic? I think it's Krajinovic. I think I've been saying it wrong my whole life. But anyway, I think O'Connell's going to win this. He did really well in a tournament not long ago. I don't know what it was. I'm not sure if it was a tournament last week. I know that he's done really well recently. He did something really good. I don't know what he did, but he managed to do something good. I don't know. He was playing really well in a tournament like last week or the week before, I think it was. So I'm going with O'Connell on this one. He's moving on to round 2. Now, final prediction, Cristian Garin versus Marc-Andrea Huesler. This is going to be interesting, but I'm going with Garin. He's a good clay court player, very good. He's one of those players that would, like, only play on clay court, because they suck at everything else. I'm joking. Please don't cancel me. I don't know why I'd get cancelled, but still, I think Garin will still move on to round 2 nonetheless. He's a good player. There we go, that is it. My round 1 predictions for the Madrid Masters 2023. Sorry there wasn't a lot of matches. It's like these tournaments where there's so many buys, the top 32 will have a buy, then why, it's like, they can't host a round of 64 because there's more than 64 entries, but then they're like, oh no, we'll just get all 32 players to have a buy. Beautiful. But yeah, also the qualifiers matches, they're all done really late and just before the tournament starts, and I can't make this video tomorrow, so what am I meant to do? But anyway, it's fine. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!